It's 9 o'clock. Please stand and join us for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone. I guess we have a motion to approve the minutes of the Monday, April 7th, 2025 minutes as written.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Been moved by McCurry and seconded by Peterson. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Motion to authorize and direct the chairman to sign one tax abatement in the amount of $68.76. It appears that some properties was jointly owned and is being transferred over to one person. So I'd so move.
I'll second.
Been moved by Thompson and seconded by Peterson. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
passes. Motion to authorize and direct the chairman to sign the Coffee County payroll notice for Blake Hanson Sheriff's Office Patrol Corporal step change, grade change, wage classification from 45-7 to 55-1, wage from $26.52 to $27.02, effective 3/26/25.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Been moved by McCurry and seconded by Barker. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion to authorize and direct the chairman to sign the Emergency Commodity Assistance Program, ECAP, from the Farm Service Agency. And I called them this morning, and this is actually about land you're involved with, I guess, with that. I thought maybe it might be for the Bailey property, but it's not, so. Also move.
I'll second.
Been moved by Thompson and seconded by Peterson. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Motion to appoint Chamber of Commerce Director Sherry Bauman to the Coffee County Tourism and Visitors Board, effective immediately.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Been moved by Peterson and seconded by McCurry. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Future reference, it's Sherry Bowman.
I'll try to remember
It doesn't
that.
look like that.
Yeah, and I apologize. I can butcher most anybody's name. Okay, move to authorize and direct the chairman to sign the 2026 budget preparation memo to department heads and elected officials. Now, if you guys have had a chance to look at that, I guess as far as I can tell, it looks okay to me.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. Moved by McCurry and seconded by Thompson. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, you're done.
Yes.
Okay. So, Road and Bridge Superintendent Brian Durst, 58 Highway Detour Resolution. Morning,
Yeah,
Ryan.
good morning, everybody. So, yeah, just an update on the 58 detour. It's looking like, I think Wednesdays when the state will be shutting that down. We had our dust control placed along 8th Road last Friday in preparation there, so we're in the process of getting some of our signage and stuff up. Something we'd like to look at is adding a few stop signs along 8th Road. And this is just basically for the incoming intersections, while this project's going on. And so, in order for us to accomplish that, we're gonna need a resolution. Don't quite have that ready yet. It's being reviewed by Keith right now, so, probably I'll bring it back next Monday, to get that taken care of, but I know we can go ahead and erect those signs up now, but they wouldn't be enforceable until the resolution's done. So if you guys, are okay, we'll move forward with that. It's a safety issue there, but there's more traffic along 8th Road. I think the stop signs, will help stop that traffic there. It's kind of similar like what we've done on different haul routes, and, when the wind farm was going on, we had extra stop signs we had in some intersections. Yep.
So will we need a motion to do that?
Well, next week I'll have the resolution, so just verbal okay right now, we'll move forward and,
That makes sense to me. I know that as long as everybody has an agreement on, you're gonna have added traffic, so it only makes sense.
yeah.
Have the other intersection yield or the other intersecting roads yield, I would think, so.
So it'll definitely be a lot safer.
Okay. All right. That'll be it for us.
Yeah, Keith Browning, the engineer, is reviewing that resolution now, so I should have it next week, bring back. And that's really all I had today, so.
That's
short and sweet. Adam's got a few things I know, but.
Is there any, need for with A1 pumping, do they need a road permit for the Hodges farm?
That'd be the one at 24th and Iris. Yeah, they're, in the process of getting that filled out now. Road permit, and there's a deposit that goes along with that. And, identifying what their haul route would be to that, which is gonna be Iris Road, is my understanding, and then they'll pay for some dust control and some stuff in front of some houses, and kinda like south of Hall Summit.
Right.
Just the same thing like what we did there.
Have we done the dust control, because they're hauling in now?
No, we haven't. My understanding is we're gonna start hauling later this week, but.
Well, we might wanna monitor that, because I was called Saturday morning and they'd already came in, they didn't have frac tanks, and they put it on the ground and the equipment out there, so.
Okay. But no, they should be getting that back sometime. I talked with them this morning, I sent an email over the weekend,
Okay.
just to get an update on that, so they're working on that, so.
Very good. Okay.
All right, appreciate it, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Why don't we go ahead and do River City, and quick update if you can.
Quick update. Running through, as you all can see, you probably haven't seen yet this morning, Skillman hauled in some equipment, started tearing out on the north side. Our concrete guys were supposed to be here last week, they're gonna be here this week, get the south, they got the south and the west sidewalks to start on, and then as Skillman gets out of their way on the north, they'll wrap around the building and tying into the horseshoe area. Get them out by the end of the month and get asphalt started next month as we close out the project. Level 2 is pretty well complete. We're going to start our cleaners and do all of our punch list items. I think there's one ceiling they were dropping tile on, and the lobby flooring they were showing on last week, but they have that lobby floor to lay. It'll take them all of about 20 minutes. Level 1 booking and intake, the padded cell guys are here this morning. They're going to start on the 2 padded cells. They got about 2 weeks in there. Desco is starting on the fluid applied flooring in the kitchen, and we have ceiling tile to drop in booking and intake area, and it will be primarily complete besides sealed concrete and little finish caulking. Laundry room, finishing up a wall over top of the laundry equipment, and get it painted, and ceiling concrete will be out of their kitchen as they have the fluid applied flooring going in starting today, and then we'll drop tile and get laundry equipment started as soon as they're done. This level 1 secured corridor, just pulling a few wires in there. We'll get the ceiling grid in that area, trying to leave it off as long as possible to not get damaged. Sheriff's office, they've started casework. Got all the doors swinging. Going to work on hardware this week. We'll get it from Brad and Adam in the IT department. They got ceiling grid in, I believe, everywhere in the sheriff's department. I'm just waiting on getting a few things out of the way so we can start dropping tile and get flooring installed. Setting the plumbing fixtures in the jail or sheriff's department. Jail area, we have 3 of the 6 pods with ceiling grid in them. Getting things moved around and jumped around so we can get in those other 3 areas and get ceiling grid in them. And get the floor sealed after that. And painting is pretty well wrapped up. Got a few stairwells and some miscellaneous rooms for the painter and the Sally Port. Site work, like I said, Concrete Unlimited will be here this week. Get curb and gutter and sidewalks coming around the south and west sides, and that's about it. Trying to get this parking lot out. It's going to be pretty hectic. As far as parking, we're still parking down the Osho. There's some parking, looks like, on the south of the daycare, I believe, is public parking to my knowledge. We're going to try to utilize some of that. It's going to be busy. We're trying to get people out and minimize it, but there's quite a few people still on site.
Sounds like you're moving.
A lot of pieces moving at one time. Thank you all.
Thank you.
On that payroll notice, the date, they have the wrong date, or typo, it should have been March 23rd instead
Was
of
it
March
fif-
26th.
Okay,
So are you guys okay if I correct that in that
Oh, sure.
motion?
I'm
Okay.
fine with that.
You say the 23rd instead of the 26th?
Yeah, the 23rd instead of the 26th.
Okay. All right, very good. Well, I guess I take Brett Skillman, Airport Board interest. Morning, Brett.
There.
Got his resume here if anybody wants to see it, or. So, we normally just ask people if you can tell us a little bit about yourself and what your interests are in the board, et cetera. Any other questions somebody comes up with for you?
Sure. I'm Brett Skillman. I live just south of Burlington here on the highway. Lived in Coffee County my whole life. I run the auction out at Newstron, and then we're doing other auctions around. I have farmed pretty much my whole life. Been in ag retail with Murphy Agri and Leroy Co-op before that. And I've been on the airport board, I think, since about 2014. I replaced Matt Anderson when he moved out of town. So, I think my term expires on the 1st of May. And so
Actually, I think it's May 18th.
May 18th. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know when it expires.
That's all right.
It hasn't for 14 years, has it?
Yes, sir.
I don't know, the airport seems to be, with Darren and the rest of the crew there, it just runs like clockwork, it seems to me like they do a very good job.
That's one of our department, or things we're associated with that I don't ever hear anything about, you know, and that's usually a good sign.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So,
Well, it's fun to be part of that, and I've learned a lot being there, but I still don't know very much about a lot of it.
You sign.
okay.
No. I mean, I will if somebody else is running the
But you
controls,
don't like
but
it.
I'm not a fighter.
I was just curious.
I don't know if I have any questions for him.
I don't have any. He's well experienced there.
I have no agenda at that place.
I know that.
It's pretty neat to be a part of it,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to see the airport board do? I mean, some goals for the future?
Well, I mean, they've got their 5-year plan, their 3-year plan, whatever, all of that, but I just, my view, or my, I guess, opinion is to just try to keep things updated and current, keep a good runway, good taxiway, and good facilities, and I think we are. I mean, we're getting a new door put on one of the hangars that birds always fly in, and that was an expense, but it was a needed expense. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that'll help quite a bit. So,
Okay.
yeah.
How long was, Mr. Ish had before he retired?
I hope forever. He's great, but that is a good point. And though we were talking about some of the, trying to get the airport maybe closer to the county as far as the vacation hours and the sick time and that kind of stuff. Try to mirror more what the county's doing, because the airport's policy wasn't exactly the same though. And but anyway, we brought that point up. But right now, Darren is pretty easy to work with, but we want to make sure we have it in writing, because the next guy may not
May
be
not
that.
be as-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I don't really know.
Well, I was just wondering about, how you go about replacing somebody with that much knowledge.
Yeah, I don't know. I would assume maybe we'd look at people that are working there anyways, and with more knowledge,
So how many-
around there.
I guess I don't really know how many people actually work there.
Oh.
3, isn't it?
You got Darren and then Danny DeWald, and then you got Scott Stone. He's in there. Brandon Neff is the mechanic. I'm missing one too. I think another guy or two in there. Not a lot. Not a huge.
Younger though, I mean,
Yeah.
not that Mr. Ish is
Right.
greatly old.
Right.
I mean, it's not, I've just always kind of been a fan of succession
Yeah.
planning, if you will.
Right. Well, we haven't really actually addressed that, but I'll bring that up at our next meeting. I mean, and I don't know how Danny would be about the same, I would assume the same age maybe, or close to it. Flight instructor, yeah, he's been there quite a while.
I guess Scott would be younger, wouldn't he?
Yeah, Scott would be younger. Brandon's pretty young, I think.
I think Ish could probably stay as long as he wishes, like you said.
Right.
Just.
Right. Yeah, I hope
Might be
he's not
time
looking
to
at.
They like farming, who knows?
Right.
Right. And their cattle.
Yeah.
I don't have any questions.
Anybody have anything else, unless anybody else does? Well, thanks for coming in, Brett.
You bet. Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Yep.
You're welcome to stay if you want.
What's that?
You're welcome to stay if you like.
Yeah, I'll stay. Hell, why not?
Not many people take them.
And you're welcome when anytime you get bored to death, you can leave.
So,
All right.
we've advertised that in other positions, through April 30th, is that right? Asking, so I assume sometime after April 30th, the positions that are, the existing positions, like his, before they're seeking, reappointment, we do that after April 30th. Am I thinking?
Or his is after that, yeah.
Because last week, we appointed for a vacant position to fill an
Right.
unexpired term. And I just want to make sure, since we're advertising those other positions, accepting applications till April 30th, that we would probably wait until we receive all applications.
That's yes, that would be my understanding, right?
Is that the way it's worded, or is it worded until filled?
Let me look real quick.
I mean, I can't remember what.
Just want to make,
So we
I just want to
have
make sure we're looking at them all the same way, but
Right.
all
right.
positions
Yeah.
to be filled by April 30th.
Okay.
to be filled by April 30th. Okay.
But is that the deadline for the applications then?
There's really no deadline for applications. I mean, I think,
Sounds to me like it's a suggestion that if you're interested, get it in before April 30th.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're given ample time to do that.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right, we need to. I mean, and I kinda wondered about that when we did that the other day, but I guess it's because it was a vacant position, then we went ahead and put someone in there, and I don't think we had anyone else interested in that position at that time, I don't believe.
Yeah, because right now on the airport board, there's 2 positions that
Open,
are open.
or will be open.
Yeah.
And one on the library.
And one on the library.
And 3 on the plan.
Some on the plan.
It's through.
Mhm.
3 on the plan.
And
Okay,
then the one you just appointed today on the tourism, that is always
Yeah.
held by the chamber director,
Right.
whoever that is, so not to confuse you on
And
that.
last week, we appointed the economic development director.
Right,
yeah,
So there,
kind
she's
of
also
they hold.
must-haves, you might say.
been represented from the economic development office.
Yeah. Well, Adam Hope, department update. Morning, Adam.
Good morning. We had a couple call-outs this weekend, had some trees that had burnt and fallen down on the road, so a couple of different times there Saturday, we went out and cleaned those up with the blade and got them shoved off the road for, at least to get the road opened up for the weekend. We'll take care of the rest of the mess sometime in the near future. Other than that, I've just got, 3 motions and a little bit of discussion. And I'll be out of here.
Okay. We've got a motion based upon the recommendation of the road and bridge supervisor to accept the bid from Murphy Tractor, Topeka, Kansas for one 2025 John Deere 335P to, should that say, be the best purchase price, total of $103,480 as being the best bid to be paid from general fund public works equipment line item.
Adam, what is this piece of equipment?
This
Is it a grader or
It's a skid loader.
skid loader?
Yeah,
That was gonna be my question.
yeah, just it's a skid loader, that we've budgeted. We actually, I believe, had it on the budget for last year and we didn't get around to it, so I made it a priority to get it this year. Basically, I mean, anybody's gonna be able to use it, but it's gonna be assigned to our assistance fleet, which goes around and does a lot of, entrance work, crossroad culvert replacement, any kind of ditching work. They pretty much are the jack of all trades and do a little bit of everything, and sometimes when we got 2 other crews using other 2 skid loaders, it kind of puts us in a bind on them not having what they need.
Okay,
So this would bring you to a total of 3?
3 of the highway, yes. Yeah, we do have the option, the landfill has a skid loader, but then, you know, we're kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Right.
Kind of affects them if we do that, so something Ryan and I have talked about for a couple of years now and feel a need for it, so thought we
okay.
could get one.
Also moved,
I'll second.
been moved by Thompson and seconded by Barker. Do we have any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, guys. The next 2 are just a couple, asphalt projects.
Okay. Motion based upon the recommendation of the road and bridge superintendent to request to solicit sealed bids for A 2501-C hot mix asphalt and shoulder rock project, approximately 8 miles of 3-inch hot mix overlay on Angus Road from 58 Highway to 14th Road. Funds to be paid from the general fund public works asphalt line item and special highway improvement fund. Also move.
I'll second.
Been moved by Thompson and seconded by McCurry. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Motion based upon the recommendation of the road and bridge superintendent to request to solicit sealed bids for A 2502-C hot mix asphalt project, approximately 4.5 miles of 2-inch hot mix overlay on Fauna Road from 12th Road to 16th Road and Bimmer Road. Am I reading that?
Yeah, it'll basically, it'll go by the monument around the curve there and over to the Jacobs Creek Road. Is where
Okay,
it'll stop.
okay,
So
that
that's
just-
where your extra half mile comes from.
Okay, I was just trying to, the directions weren't quite
Yeah.
adding up to me there. Funds to be paid from the general fund, Public Works asphalt line item.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Been moved by McCurry and seconded by Barker. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. The last thing I've got is just a little bit of discussion, looking at getting some 10-inch steel casings, which is, something we use quite often, especially in the ag entrances where we don't have a lot of room to work with as far as depth on a ditch, or, these things require little to no cover over top of them. So we can put them in a shallow ditch, get access to a particular piece of property without having to do a bunch of ditch work and use a 12-inch pipe, and then those require quite a bit of cover. So this is just something that we like to have on hand, and we ran out of them. So Clinton actually made some phone calls, and we'll end up getting about 1,120 feet of they call it 10 3/4 outside diameter steel casing in 40-foot lengths for $28,817.60.
So the purpose of that would be is they can have minimal cover, but they won't get crushed.
Yes, yeah, and like I said, we go through a lot of these things because of that. You know, if we were going to put a 12-inch, CMP in, they technically require 12 inches of cover over top of them, so there's a lot of places in the county that just doesn't have that ditch, that deep of a ditch, or if we did have to do that, we'd have to do a lot of ditching.
Have
to
to go a long
accommodate that.
ways to get the fall for
Yeah.
it, probably.
Yeah, so that's something we've always had on hand, and we're out of them, so I'd like to get some more. So just a little
Okay.
general discussion to give you guys a heads up.
Okay, okay. Sounds very
Anything else for me?
understandable.
That is steel, not corrugated.
Steel, yeah, it's steel, it's, they call it .365 ball, roughly 3/8.
3/8.
Pretty heavy,
Ball.
pretty heavy duty.
Yeah, it's some good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, anything else?
I believe so, thank you,
All
sir.
right, thank you guys,
Thanks, Adam.
thank you.
Well, do we want to take a break, or what's everybody think? I see some yes, so we'll, come back at, 9:38.
Hey Brian, how are you, buddy?
I'm good.
You look good.
I guess.
All right, well, I guess our next thing is, County Councilor Wade Bowie, the jail app and change order, so I guess we'll work on
Get
that.
him.
Pardon me?
Do you want me to go get him?
I think he knows that we were,
That he's next on the agenda.
yeah, I think
I can't run his thing, so.
There are just initial.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, planning board.
I guess we can pass some of this stuff around, right?
I'm gonna go get him.
Did you guys want me to go get him?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
Okay.
wanna remind him that we really meant it, that he was next on the agenda.
It'll take him 20 minutes to get his damn computer going.
Oh, yeah.
But it works out pretty well. It's easy for you to see. There's only 45 pages of this thing.
He's coming.
Okay.
So this is the answer to your question right here.
Knew it was coming up.
So, Damon Burke is wanting to reapply for the zoning and planning board and wondered if we could do, like on the telephone or Zoom call with him or something, because he works at the post office and he just should not take a whole day off. If he doesn't have to, that's suitable with everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just scheduled a phone meeting with him maybe the next
Yeah.
week.
He's on it already.
Yeah.
He gets to apply.
Mhm.
Yeah. Check in with it. It's in here. That what it's for, sir?
Yeah, unemployment.
That automatically try.
Yeah, automatic install. Isn't that right?
Okay.
This, I'll move with that.
What?
I sent you the email.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then goes to that phone that's coming at you.
There's,
Okay.
Are you waiting?
good, how are you?
Which one is this, Edison Health?
Our health insurance,
Okay, so I thought,
that's your copy. I printed you out.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay,
It was
okay.
just, so you all can look at it.
Oh, okay, I got it, so I got it now.
Everything here goes in the yellow.
I'm losing it again. I swear I found that.
already talked about change order 30. It's good news. I don't know how he filled you in, but they were gonna have to explain it.
And that's what you,
You might want to summarize.
These are the only purchases up here.
Okay.
Summarize the,
Change order.
Okay.
so change order 30 was the one, was
Burlington Cash.
a request that was sent to Sheriff and I to review, and based on our review, we didn't feel that,
11 claims.
I wasn't gonna come up and ask.
There you go. There you go.
Sheriff wasn't gonna come up and ask us to approve it. In our opinion, it was, something that
The student participant.
River City didn't need to come up and
Okay.
explain it to you. It would be the Goldberg or,
Because that did not,
the top, because it was a
that makes more.
Engineers issue.
the engineer issue that
Okay.
we didn't feel the county should have to pay for.
it sounds like it would have been very hard to explain why the county would
Buy
have
this
paid
one,
for it.
yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
In my
Okay.
opinion. When I
No,
told-
no, that,
When I told Wade and showed him what it was, he agreed.
we've already done this,
Just a
right?
second one, doesn't have my name on
Where is it?
it. I've just been signing off to the side.
Okay,
This
that's
is
fine.
what
I
it
don't
is.
know where.
I mean, it don't matter, I just.
Yeah,
thought I'd call you.
okay. Hello?
All right, everybody's favorite time on
These have already been done, I'm not sure why they already came around here. But they were in that folder.
So you were able to get that vehicle from Allen County then?
Well, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna get it today. As soon as this is done, I'm gonna go get it.
That was good.
Oh, yeah, it saved us probably minimum of $45,000.
Yeah, that was,
So there, I don't need a new truck, and like I said, I'll be more than happy with that truck.
sure.
Great.
Get mine put on the road, it's a police package vehicle.
Somebody else did not step in front of you.
There was one agency ahead of us that called first, and when I called and spoke to Sheriff Manis, he said he called me back after I called and said they decided they didn't want it, so I said, "Well, I damn sure did," so I snatched on to this.
Good.
So you're picking it up today, Tom?
Yes, sir, I got a check issued Friday, and I've got the check, and I got my insurance and tag, and I'm gonna go pick it up. Somebody wrote me down there and get it today. Yeah, I spent all weekend cleaning my truck. I'm gonna go get it after I spend all that time cleaning my truck out, giving somebody else, I'm going to get that truck. Scrubbing off floor mats and vacuuming, I hate cleaning trucks.
Angie called me one day to see if I could stop by and sign that, and I said, well, I'm just about to Dodge City. She said, we'll use your stamp.
Not gonna happen, Not gonna happen.
Just not that day anyhow.
I'll turn right around and come back, right? Yeah.
That was
I had to hustle to make it
Yeah,
back
you
before
would.
they left.
Yeah, you would've.
That's one we previously went down with. Tax on the.
Oh, my goodness.
We don't need to sign it. I think this is the same thing.
I will mention while we're waiting here, this is dispatcher appreciation week, all week. If you see one of my dispatchers and you appreciate what they do, please be happy to mention to them that we appreciate their jobs. It is
emotionally taxing job for most of them when serious calls come in, but they do a great job for me down there, and I just wanna make sure that I let everybody know that we appreciate their work down there.
Your dispatchers do a great job.
Appreciate that.
They really do.
Yeah.
They love what they do and they work at it, so it's not something that.
Always had when we've called a time or two when it was everything was pretty tense and
Yeah,
they were the level head in the room, you know.
yep, they have to be, and they are, they do a good job down there.
They do.
Yeah, one has been here quite a while.
Pardon me?
One I know of has been here quite some time.
Sir, I've had two come tell me, hey, you know that, you got another year or so, 18 months and we're retired, you know. So now I'm just to the point that you're gonna have to replace somebody that's been here 25 or 30 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, that's got a lot of experience and a lot of great to be able to train new people coming in, what I call kids coming in, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be missing some of these ones that are coming up for retirement.
I can tell you right now, if we don't know where we're going on a call, they'll get us there.
Oh, yes, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Favorite saying is, you better let me know where you're at, because I'm the only one telling you, either you're going to hell or not. So, they know exactly where you're going.
Yeah.
Let's get this party started, Wade.
I was waiting for you to.
Don't start with me. Road and Bridge has already been on me, Highway Department's already been on me first thing. And then, I'm not gonna say names, but a couple commissioners upgrades on here. So, not only have I got the commissioners going, I got Road and Bridge. And then Skillman sitting here, thought he'd be smart today. Well, I'm gonna leave, and it is because of you, Tom, so.
You just feel the love.
Oh, I do today, it's just a great day. Just happy to be here, sir, happy to be here.
Yes, sir, me too. Wouldn't be anywhere else today.
Okay, pay app 16. This is for the period ending March 31st of 2025. The total payment due this pay app period, 1,447,110.85, so just under 1.5 million. Within the document, as all the documents have, it has sort of the breakdown of what goes to what and to who, but we cover it in detail with each payout for each subcontractor. So I'll go ahead and move on to.
Would this include or demark the $18,000 that you shared with us?
So, that's not on this because it's a change order.
Okay.
So when we talk about change orders, it'll just be eliminated because we're not paying for it.
And if you look here, all the change orders are reflected. Change order 30, it's blank.
There you go.
So
That's the best kind.
That's right.
Or a credit, one or the other.
We haven't paid for it, so we're not gonna get billed for it.
Okay, very good.
payout 13 for HME. HME, if you remember, is steel. Current payment due minus the retainage, $7,088.40. Doing this a little different since you kind of have an idea where everything's coming from now. So the total galvanized mezzanine steel tied to change order number 5. It's also tied to change order number 27. So their change order is change order number 5. Our change order is number 27. I don't know if you remember seeing this. This is sort of the county tracking sheet that ties to each change order and who it ties to. So on here, change order 27 tied to HME. I'll just read what it says. Galvanized mezzanine steel, the number will match up, and that's our change order that's been previously approved. But it's confusing because their change order is number 5. I don't know.
It's because that's that contractor's fifth change order that they've applied for, not the
That's right.
overall project.
Not our number.
That's right.
Right, yeah. But it doesn't make sense when I show it this way unless it ties back to our change order. So I'm trying to
And I'm telling you, thanks to Cole for making that up so we can follow it easier, and the public can see it, and we can show you exactly what change orders go with what. Cole does a great job with this, so.
And if you wanna pass that around, because
Oh, he has been a hell of an asset.
on the left-hand side, you'll
He's
see
very
the
good at what he
contractor.
does.
Yeah.
And then on the top, you'll see all the change orders that have come through, and then if you go down to the column, it kinda looks like, reminds me of the sentencing grid on the criminal side, but it'll show you what ties to what and where the numbers come from.
And the galvanized mezzanine steel, if you remember, is the steel on the second floor. It goes along the outside, so somebody can't just jump off the ledge, a set of stairways or something.
That's why you don't have to paint.
That's right, sir. Absolutely. That's why we wanted to galvanize instead of paint. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And as you see with HME, the total amount that they had bid on the project, 1.49, they're almost done at the very bottom. There's 1.538, they're at 1.501, so they're close, they're almost done. On the right-hand column here, you'll see it's 98.12, so they've got under 2% left, which means we're on the home stretch. Payout number 13 for IBC Carpentry with the retainage, $212,830.52. We go into what they've done this period. It's all a little bit of everything except for number 12 is the big ticket item, $90,109, and if you remember, DFH is door frames, hardware. So the materials, you've been in the facility and you've done a tour, you'll see that there's a lot of doors, frames, and hardware that has been added and continues to be added. The entire second floor is pretty much sealed off. So a lot of what you'll see from this point forward ties to the main floor.
Do you remember what Cole said this morning? All the doors are hung. So they're putting doors in, frames, all the security hardware, and they get locks put on. So that's all this right here.
FE, fire. Let's go back and focus in on my notes. You remember what that is?
What's that with?
24 FE and FEC materials.
No.
Fire entrance. I'm trying to. I can't remember what that is. Directly below that.
You trying to read what you wrote? Is that what you're doing?
These are the change order numbers, just like this one.
Yes.
I think it's cabinets, but
Just for information.
I can go back if you have questions on that. It made sense when I wrote it, but,
And you can't write or read what you wrote?
well, I can, but apparently
You're probably right, yeah.
it has to do with fire.
Oh, moving the fire wasn't moving the fire, the cabinets for that the fire suppression system set in, is that what that was?
I believe that's right. And then the total, 236, 478, 35. Alpha Roofing. It's their application 5, revision 1, whatever that means. It's $882 with retainage, and then it ties to, if you have that sheet that's floating around, their change order number 7, our change order number 28, downspout, the head roof ring, the steppers. So the total was $980, but that's what it ties to, so it should correspond on that.
They're down, yeah,
They're down on
they're down.
Yeah.
DH Restoration, their their pay app number 7, the total $59,185. Security sealants, joint sealants, fire stopping. That's pretty self-explanatory, so there are notes. We've gone through that before. It's just a new pay app. The total $65,762. Sowards Glass, pay app number 7, total $1,743.47. It ties to these highlighted areas: field labor, overhead, profit. I didn't circle that, but $1,937.19. Next one, Higgins Group, pay app number 9, current payment $61,334.63. Drywall, ceiling, the labor, materials are the big part of it. Total $68,149.59. Always Faithful Painting, pay app number 3, current payment $54,854.10. We always give them a hard time about having round numbers, just from a...
If you do your own billing, that's what I do. I wouldn't worry about cents, but, yeah.
The one change order that is tied to this, change order number 2, which corresponds with the county's change order number 2 as well. The shower changes, do you remember what that was?
There's been 2 changes, but I don't remember whether it was to put in the epoxy in front of the showers or whether it was a shower change. I don't remember.
Yeah, it just says shower changes.
Yeah.
It was approved a long time ago, but the total $69,949. Bitsum Commercial Flooring, pay app number 3, the total $8,615.70. And rubber tile, that's tied to the weight room. LVT flooring, I think that's in multiple areas, but this should all be upstairs.
They're there this morning. They pulled in this morning. Their trucks are there unloading stuff, and the cleaning crews and the liquid flooring is back in the kitchen. They were unloading stuff into the kitchen this morning, so that's all this.
The change order is tied to change order number 12, so the total $9,573. That one should be going up. Desco Coatings, this is, I believe it's application, pay app number 1 for them. They all seem to have different numbers and track it differently, but I believe this is number 1. 34,910.19. And this ties to the fluid applied floors. I'm not sure if I didn't write that, you would have known what Cremona TG was. Maybe you would. I wouldn't.
So that's like a epoxy?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
To save money, instead of having carpeting and other things, having liquid floors and buff floors outside of offices, just in the main hallways, that was a way to save money. So
Yep.
$38,789, but it'll still look good.
Yeah.
It'll just be buff, shiny floors.
The public areas and stuff, the lobbies will have, industrial carpeting. But every place else, I said, I'm gonna try to save as much money as I can, so we just gonna do concrete floors, so. The epoxy floors and stuff in the kitchen, in the shower in the showers, whatever, that's what the epoxy floors are. You'll see some of this for Desco, when they say the fluid applied, is they have to put a layer down in the padded cells before they put this padding all around it and seal that up. That's what they're talking about when it comes to this liquid applied flooring.
Well, like for the kitchen and stuff, it's like to seal the concrete basically, so it's.
Yeah, it's a liquid applied flooring is what it is.
Polygel, pay app number 14, 118,875.37 with retainage. There's a number of different items that are tied to this pay app, but these are the ones that are highlighted. As you can see, security hollow metal and detention hardware installation, detention furniture and equipment material. Going on to the next page, security mesh materials and submittals, security access panels, the SEC engineering. If you remember, SEC is tied to the subcontractor for Polygel, who's programming the...
Accurate.
Yep, Accurate is programming the...
Does all the computer access
Yeah.
and everything else. Everything's computerized in this place, and that's who the contractor is.
And the total 132, actually it goes on to the next page, 132,8375. Conley Sprinkler, pay app number 7, 9,035.96. Tied to labor. If you've been in that facility, you'll see sprinkler heads, and that system runs throughout the entire building. Total $10,039.95. McElroy's pay app number 13. I think this is the lion's share of this pay app, or the big one. 441,164.70 with retainage, and it covers a little bit of everything: insulation, plumbing fixtures, boiler pumps, airside equipment, ductwork. That's a big one, 68,927. Plumbing, above grade, sheet metal, HVAC piping, sheet metal labor, plumbing, above grade labor, HVAC piping labor. And I think if you take a tour of the facility, you'll see all of these things make sense. Sink for evidence lab. Added GPRs. Do you remember what GPRs? I forget what that is. Total 491,183. The sink for the evidence lab, that's an expensive sink, but to appropriately and safely handle the type of evidence, I think Tom's talked about it before, it's just, we're in a different day and time, and they need to be able to...
Sink and countertop, guys, that if we're doing evidence and whatever we have, it's spill proof, like you see in the high schools, that it's supposed to be stain proof and acid proof, so if something drops, it won't just eat a hole through a wooden table. That's what all that is.
Does that also cover the vent, the zero
Yeah.
pressure vent? I think that's a different one.
Yeah.
Shelley Electric, pay app number 13, another high total, but there's a lot of wires running through that building. 312,166.62.
You think?
Couple miles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That internet cable.
that whole sheet in front of you right now is almost all highlighted. At the very bottom, there's multiple change orders tied to this pay app for them, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you look over on the right-hand side, wherever this mouse is, on your bingo sheet here, that ties to approved county change orders 4, 10, 14, 16, 21, and 23. So, a lot of numbers that don't match up on here, that match up on here, so just, if you ever want to go back and cross-reference, or someone out there wants to get a hold of it, they can get a hold of this and hopefully follow along like we've had to.
If you've got enough time to look through all this, you need to get a hobby. That's all I'm saying.
We spend hours.
I know you do.
It makes a whole lot more sense now, though, than what it did in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And we're able to move from a whole lot quicker because we know what we're looking for. And then Cole knows what we're gonna be asking about. So this one for McElroy's, or no, this isn't McElroy's, this is Shelley, is 346,851.80 before the retaining. Skillman Construction, pay up number 8, 13,960.80, and that total is 15,512, and it ties to earthwork, some additional work regarding the storm sewer at what location on the
west side of the building.
West side. And that's the end of pay app 16.
Couple brief questions. When you rolling through things, $10,000 for a flagpole,
Which one?
is at the very first.
Okay, let me go back up.
I think when you're talking about that FP, the fire stuff.
And then there was signage, I don't know, the signage throughout the entire building or on the front of it, $28,000.
I'm assuming that's in the front of the building.
And then the other one I questioned, the weight room flooring.
I'm sorry?
Weight room flooring, is that
Yeah.
for inmates or?
No, that's for the entire county. There's a weight room upstairs.
Okay,
Exercise
that I
room.
just-
Yeah,
If it's for.
yeah.
So then there'll be another expense coming for weight equipment, or has that already been
It's
purchased?
already been purchased, already in the, so, I'll say again, and this may have been before you took office, but,
Yeah,
the wellness department, said that they had some money, some of you remember, and gave us, $15,000, to assist us in purchasing all this, so we were able to save some county taxpayer dollars by doing that, so,
excellent.
yeah.
And then 10,000 is gonna come from the diversion account.
Yeah. So they cut down that price real big, sorry, wait, I forgot about that.
And then you had gone out, the initial price for the equipment came in high, and you
Oh,
contacted.
It's horribly high.
Oh, it's unbelievable high. So we started making phone calls, and we called the rec center and called the high school and said, where are you getting your stuff? And they told us from a company in Wichita. And so we just directly called this place in Wichita, and they said, we'll get you whatever you want. We told them what had been bid, what, could they match that or someplace locally here, you know? And came back with a cutthroat price and said, we'll come service it yearly, we'll make sure that everything's greased, and if you need cables replaced or whatever, I mean, and just said, jump through hoops for it, and was at a carefully reduced price. And so we went to this company out of Wichita.
Good.
Done save a little bit of money.
Not in Chicago or something that way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's just a company we didn't know. If we can do somewhat locally here, and they're willing to come service it for the same, less than the other companies we're gonna do, why wouldn't I go, and do that?
And it will be set up so county employees can go and utilize that weight room.
Yep. So we've got it set up where there's not gonna be security, they don't have to come to a back area, they can come through a back door, have a key card just like to get into the offices, and they can't get in any farther. They can go right up the stairway in the back to the weight room, so. Yeah, we've already talked about that and got plans for that, so. and Todd, to answer your question, not to skate around the issue as far as the signage, you know, it's gonna say, you know, to begin with, it was gonna say Coffee County LAC or something, and I said, it needs to say Coffee County Law Enforcement Center. You know, it's not the Coffee County Jail, it needs to say, so underneath that, then it will say Sheriff, Detention, County Attorney. There needs to be somebody to know where to go when you come.
So there's gonna be a lot of lettering.
There's a lot of lettering,
And it's
sir.
gonna stand out in the light.
It'll stand out away from the building, there's lights shining on it so you can see it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, is what I'm talking.
That helps people know where they need to go.
Again, it's a new building, and you just need to know that, again, taxpayers spend a lot of money on this, $30 million. It needs to look nice, it needs to look professional, it's a professional building, and they need to know that not only is that the sheriff's office jail, it's also prosecuting attorney's offices, so. Yeah, some of the expense, I'm talking about the seals. So, early on, I mean, within the first year, Goldberg wanted my badge, my seal. And so we seen a picture of that, and again, that would be put on the front of the building, on one side of the door going in. And once they decided to do that, I said, listen, it's not right that I have a seal out there when it's also a detention facility in the county attorney's facility. If I'm gonna have a seal on, I want Wade's seal. So his seal, the scales adjusters, wherever he is, I said, I want a seal on the other side of the door. So, showing them where we're at, this is our professional seals and everything else. The cost of have one of those seals made, and it's metal is outrageous, folks. It really is. But didn't have a choice no matter. I told them that's what I wanted, and that's what they put up. So, some of that expense is those seals are not cheap. And the lettering that I wanted on the front of the building is not cheap.
Sure. And it's tied to one of these change orders. That was a change order that came in.
Yeah, I don't remember which one it was. Been too many change orders ago.
So Wade, are you pointing out that the law enforcement center total cost is $25.7 million, and then the remainder of the $30 million is for the courthouse?
Yes.
You read my mind because
Yeah.
Tom said 30 million. I wanted to make sure.
Yeah. It was a lot more than a lot less than the 37 million they tried to tell me back in second year. Yeah.
You just said 30 million and.
For the total project, phase 1 and phase 2.
Yeah.
30 million.
Possibly get some phone calls about that.
Yeah.
We're clearing that up.
Not a penny more.
That's right.
And I think that was made, quite clear by you, right, Tom?
Yes.
I feel you've done a good job to try to hold it to that line too.
Well, I appreciate that, but again, I've said this every time I come up here. River City fights for us, and they're more than willing to pick this out and say, listen, don't kill the messenger boy, we just built this, but you're gonna see a change order from so-and-so, and we don't think that's right. We wouldn't like to see it, you know, if we were building this. They do fight for us. We hired a good company that fights for us. So.
That's turned out well.
Yes, it has. They've been very good to us.
You had, did that answer your questions?
Yeah.
I know you mentioned two things. Was there a third?
Flagpole,
The flagpole.
signage, and waiver.
I know, I tried to help,
Where you had that fire stuff highlighted, it was in
down at the horseshoe pits, we were looking for flagpole to put in down there, at the fairgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
They're outrageous.
Well,
I mean, a cheap one was still almost $1,000. and
We
it
got,
was cheap.
we got big street pole lamps that, Four Rivers or Evergy or somebody donated to the school. And we fabricated it, and I was able to fly up, not quite as big as the one at the bar at New Strong, but a big flag on it. It was donated, and all we had to do was set up and anchor it to the ground. I mean, it was an excellent cost for us. Being a little school, kids kept climbing our old one, bending it over. They're not gonna bend this one.
Yeah, I know it.
So it hasn't been built yet? We can,
Yeah, I'm glad to see anything for it.
we can look into that and get more info.
I mean, and if it's gonna be that, you gotta have one.
I'm sure it's heavy duty for that money.
Yeah, how much is this one?
They asked me early on, for everything, looks to me like $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 or so, give or take.
That's what's gonna be in front of the
Well,
building, right?
flagpole
Yes.
materials, flagpoles.
They asked me early on, did I want a flagpole, and I said, absolutely, I want a flagpole.
See, 'cause it'll be big enough, they're gonna pour a nice concrete base in there and.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I don't know
won't
anything
be-
about that, but I told them I wanted a flagpole.
We've done several of them for, different entities.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bases of them are not cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, the concrete base and the anchor bolts.
put into
Yeah,
Yeah.
to
Feedlot.
to get it to withstand all the winds and
Yes.
whatnot, especially if you fly a very big flag at all.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't want one as big as New Struck. But anyway, yeah, it's not gonna be that big.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
feedlot.
a pretty flag out there.
Oh, it is a beautiful flag.
Yeah, it is.
Again, blocking the sun, you know, when you're coming in.
For sale, isn't it?
Pardon me?
For sale, isn't it?
I'm told it's leased,
Oh.
but that's just rumor.
Yeah, feedlot we go to, he said the pole costs $5,000 and I can't remember how many yards of concrete, but it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, it's a lot of money. It looks really nice though.
Some of it's just light pole bases in a parking lot, and even the small ones, the engineer designs the footings on those were 2 yards of concrete and this cage of steel and
Yeah.
Yeah.
$300 worth of anchor bolts. I mean, it's
Yeah, there's,
massive.
That's all I had on that.
Okay.
We've done several.
Good questions and
Yeah.
things that, I'm hoping when you have questions like that, we have answers. And if we don't, then
we'll find
we'll get
somebody
them.
does it, yeah.
That's,
So anybody have any questions? Do the motions, I guess. Motion to approve the application and certificate for payment, application number 16 for period ending 3/31/25, submitted by River City Construction LLC in the amount of $1,447,110.85 for work completed, reference the Coffee County Law Enforcement Center project. Funds to come from the Jail Construction Project Fund, Fund 111.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Then moved by McCurry and seconded by Peterson. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
No, thank you, guys. Keeping track of everything.
next is, change order number 33. Make sure that's still up there. So, this is tied to potential change order 56 and potential change order 59 as tracked by River City. The total between the two is $12,395. That is to be subtracted from the project contingency fund. These numbers may be a little bit off because I think we'll have to ask Cole, but I think they were tracking 30 that isn't going to be approved and has been subtracted. So this number at the very bottom may end up being $18,000. It should be $18,000 more than
That's fine.
what's left in the project contingency. And as we get towards the end, we're hoping that this number, it'll probably get subtracted from some, but not a whole lot. So that, we'll say $200,000 hopefully will then transfer over to
the
phase two.
Like the next project.
Right, and that's the goal.
All I'm going to say is going to the phase two.
Okay.
So the total is $12,395. This ties to, for potential change order 56, installing low-rise foam roof decking stopped to support roofing materials. And you can probably explain it better than I can.
So where the bump outs are at, where the, extended walls, aesthetics I call it, where they bump out. If they didn't put a lowered, foam sealer insulation up there, it would be higher, obviously, than the roof, and so water would pool, and so they needed to put this different stuff up there to make sure that water flowed away from, get it off the roof.
So to do so, $1,947. Here's the breakdown related to the change orders. And then this is tied to potential change order 59. And this is adding insulation and parapet to eliminate potential for condensation in exterior walls. That's $10,448. You want to explain that one?
Again, so they're adding insulation, a condensation support is what it is. They realized that once they got this going, if they didn't add this, there was a possibility of water condensating between the walls and going down the walls just due to condensation. And so they needed to put this in to eliminate that issue. So there wasn't any, not that there was condensation, but the architects and engineers thought there could be. And so they had to put this in.
Preventative.
Yeah.
So as you see, the scope, stuff 6-inch and 8-inch exterior parapets and metal framing with bad insulation, and then materials 6 and 8-inch unfaced fiberglass, bad insulation.
Yeah. BAT, not bad. BAT for
Right.
public ed. BAT.
So that's the end of that one.
Okay, are we ready then? Motion for the board to approve and for the chairman to sign the following change orders regarding construction related to the Coffee County Law Enforcement Center as approved by River City Construction. Change order number 33 with costs associated with potential change order number 056 associated with additional low-rise foam insulation at roof decking, deduct $1,947, and potential change order 059 associated with additional insulation in parapets, deduct $10,448, with $12,395 to be deducted from the project construction contingency, with no change in the guaranteed maximum price of $25,712,885. Also move.
I'll second.
Been moved by Thompson and seconded by Peterson. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
On phase 2 of the project, I've talked the sheriff into continuing on with being part of pay apps, that he knows it so well, although he's not excited about it.
Like maybe a hole in the head. No, it needs to be done, and it's good, Nicole works with us, and there's no use of me trying to get somebody else involved now, so.
Right. You guys are still friends over this, so you might as well continue.
I've never liked him to begin with, maybe he's still friends.
Hopefully, you'll see the design for phase 2 sometime, because you have to approve it, obviously.
I think we'll have some bids on that stuff quick too, huh?
Yeah.
If you're walking right into it, right?
Yeah, I'm told the plans are 90% or 100% done, but I haven't seen it, that's just what Cole was saying, or what Joe was saying, or somebody was saying, but drawings are about that.
We had a meeting, what, two weeks ago?
Let's do the month.
No, with the judge and,
Oh, yeah.
because narrowing down and focusing on some of the judicial items that needed to be put in place to make sure this line was okay with it, and then moving electrical outlets around, removing electrical outlets that are unnecessary, those type of things.
No matter what the judge wants, now there's a secure corridor there. And so I have to be involved in some of that to make sure that there's the security when you leave the jail portion and go into the courtroom, the courtroom. So that's what we had a meeting for.
And if you remember with phase 2, there's 2 courtrooms right now, but if you've been to the small courtroom is
This size.
this size, and you can't efficiently handle 2 dockets at the same time without having some overflow out in the main hallway. With the new design, there's actually going to be a place for people in the small courtroom to come in and sit in the courtroom, and if needed, you could hold a small 6-person jury trial. There's going to be space for that. So it's expanding the small courtroom to meet the needs going into the future. Right now, on Wednesdays, for example, both courtrooms are utilized. There's 2 dockets running at the same time, and if that continues into the future and things continue to expand, it'll allow that small courtroom and large courtroom to operate at full capacity if needed. Now, the big courtroom is going to be for, if there's a jury trial or something going on, then you could still run a docket in the small courtroom and do so, and not, it'll be streamlined. And the safety component of it, which is the most important. Ideally, when this jail project was first discussed, having the jail south of town, north of town, wherever it is, that if you want to see escalating costs, then you have transport of inmates from where, if it was north or south, to this building. You have to have 2 guards?
Yep.
For safety reasons, and then if you forgot somebody, then you have to have a whole other set of people who will be there to watch the inmates that are here, and then to be able to go back and forth. And to me, it's a recipe for bad things to happen. So having the jail next door in a secured hallway is the ideal setup and safety situation for the public. Even if they don't realize it, it's the best way to do it, in my opinion.
And the judge has been very good about, we give him his ability to set and field to what he needs, but yet the safety and concern of the public and this courthouse and anybody going to court is my concern. And he's been very good about saying, you're right, Tom, this needs to be a security door, it needs to be alarmed, it needs to have cameras. So he's been very good with working with us, so.
Good. And ideally, with the number of beds in this facility, the model to help pay for your jail facility is housing inmates from elsewhere. That'll pay for your jail. But if you remember, Tom can speak to it, these individuals, they don't get released into the community. They're not gonna get released out the back door and end up walking across the parking lot to the elementary school. In fact, I know one of the complaints or one of the things that I've heard is, well, we're going to bring all the family members from either the federal inmates or inmates from other counties here, and they'll be hanging out in the community. Well, they're not going to do that because you're not going to have in-person visitation. It'll be video visitation, which is something that's new, not only here, but across the state, across the country.
People across the United States, you very seldomly have in-person visitation. There's no way to do it. You don't have the manpower to do it.
I see.
So, for the last, as long as this deal's been here, Sundays were my visitation days. It's low volume, so you can get staff to set up visitation. So let's just talk about I'm full. I have 18 here, and I've got 6 or 7 farmed out. But I'm full, okay? So let's say 18 people. You get 20-minute visitation on Sunday. Starts at 2 o'clock, ends at 4 o'clock. You think I'm gonna get 18 family members in here at 20 minutes a session? It's first come, first served. When that hour ends, or those 2 hours in, I'm sorry, it's over with. I better go get meals, I better get ready, and so, now, once this new jail's built, you can talk on your phone, you can get on your computer, you can talk to your internet burns up. They'll have free access. Every inmate will have the opportunity to have a iPad in his cell, his personal iPad, that he can get onto and do visitation. If he doesn't want to pay for that, there are kiosks built in there, and he can sit in a chair and talk to his loved ones on a kiosk, face-to-face by video. He's got free access to text messaging, to internet. He can send internet messages back and forth, because there's just no way physically for you to provide in-person visitation for 18 alone, 90. There's just no way. So we had that set up. Companies that do our phone system have this capability. They have one set up in our main lobby downstairs if you haven't seen it. You can put money in on your inmates, on your loved one's account. You can get on there and send an email to them. There's electronic visitation. It's already set up here. And we're just gonna have this same company do everything in the new jail. But that's the only way to do it, folks, to give everybody a chance to see a loved one and have conversations. You set it up electronically.
Yeah, I never thought about that you run out of time, basically.
Oh, yeah, there's people that show up, and we tell them, first come, first served, folks. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. And so you got 10 family members standing out in the lobby, and there's only gonna be 4 or 5 to get to see it. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. And so what happens is you have people sitting there from noon waiting, to get in line, to be the first in line to see a loved one.
Tom, and tell me if I'm wrong, but on the federal side, that the federal people that you might have break, those are white collar crimes, or?
Yes, sir, they'll be nonviolent white collar crimes.
Right.
Yeah, we have the ability to sit and tell the feds in a contract, because we'll have a signed contract.
Right.
And we tell them we just want nonviolent white collar crime, for example, so, yeah, whatever it may be, but, yeah, we're not gonna be holding, the Mexican cartel chief, but, that's not what we're gonna have here.
Okay.
So 99, everybody that I've talked to says that they put that in their contract, that we don't have axe murderers, we don't have, gangbangers that have been pod bosses or jail bosses at other prisons.
And I guess that was my point, was that white collar crime is still a crime, but it's not a violent, and I think that was a concern.
That's right.
From.
That's right. I told the public that from day one.
Right.
And what they don't realize, well, we try to get it out there, is listen, when it comes to the federal inmates, all we are is Motel 6, folks. They're not going to stay here. They're not from here. They're not coming here. They're able to have contact with their loved ones.
They're just coming here until their trial date.
All we are is giving them a bed to sleep in and a food in their plate. Then the feds come get them, the feds take them back to court, and the feds deal with them. We can't even, unless it's an emergency, we can't even give them medical care. The feds take care of all that. They may have to come back and get them and take them. Now, if they say you sprained an ankle, you can have your med staff look at them, that's one thing. But the feds take care of the feds. They come and get them, take them back to court. They're not going to court here.
Sure.
They're going to court in federal court someplace, Topeka, Wichita, Kansas City, wherever it may be. All we're doing is Motel 6. We're keeping the light on for them, and they're paying us to give them a bed to sleep in. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So I'll be more than happy to take your money. If you want me to give them a bed to sleep in, I'll take your money to help pay for the jail. Absolutely.
So these kiosks you're talking about, they'd be taken from their cell to that kiosk, then that's like an enclosed area or something? How does that work?
So each one of these pieces of pie, each pod, okay, has at least one kiosk. I think they've got 2 in them. And so it's just like going to the ATM machine. You go up and you pull up a chair and you click on your account and you click that you want to go talk to your mom, and she has her computer up, and they can sit there and talk to her and have face-to-face, electronic conversation. They can sit and talk just like talking on the phone. It's just you're able to see your loved one's face and talk to them.
Okay.
This system is set up to where it blocks out everything behind them. If you've ever done a Zoom meeting, you can make a background where they can't see behind you. And so that's set up. If they try to have a lewd image, this machine shuts off immediately. It recognizes all this. So for the security of, this person, I say he, can be men or women. Whoever it is on this video can't get some little kid and talk to him because it immediately shuts anything off.
Okay.
They're all monitored, it's recorded, I could go back and say, okay, you're talking about a jailbreak, you're done, you're shut down, you're gonna be put in solitary, whatever it may be, but
Mhm.
this system is pretty neat the way it's done, and this company does it all over the United States.
It's very interesting.
They don't have access to the web.
No, they do not. It's all through our system, through this company that monitors everything, and they can get on any educational channel. They can actually go and get a GED online by sitting and using this pad, or going to a kiosk. We'll give them religious channels to go to, but they cannot just get on the web and search for porn, for example, anything like that. Doesn't happen.
Everything's structured in it.
Absolutely. For inmates, you
Right,
bet.
right.
For the correction.
That is kind of neat.
Oh, it's unbelievable, the system they have set up. And there's a bunch of them out there. This same company does our phone system, offers it, and we put bids out anyway, but the people that did our phone contract beat everybody else out, and we told them this is what we want. And here's what's good. I'll tell the taxpayers, it doesn't cost Coffee County a single dime, not a dime. Whether I put in 6 phones of theirs and 6 kiosks, they don't charge Coffee County a fine because they're getting a percentage off an inmate asking to use getting a phone card to make phone calls. They have to pay, just like anybody else. And so a percentage of that goes to their services.
So that family or inmate pays for that service? is that-
Absolutely. At the end, they're paying for it. And so this company doesn't care if, so we've had inmates before get mad, take the telephone, bang on the wall till they break the carrier off of it. We call that company, they're in that day or the following day, replacing it, and then we bill that inmate for the damages. It doesn't come to us. That company, that's their equipment, they service it, and they put it in for free. They don't charge the Coffee County people a single solitary dime.
That was a question I was thinking about.
Yeah, but it doesn't cost us whether we put in 6 in a cell or whether we put 2 in a cell. It doesn't cost us a dime. They've worked with us. We knew ahead of time what the sizes of these things would be. Some of these iPads have chargers, like everybody knows, and it kind of slides into a slot and snaps in there and charges. So we made sure that when we bricked up stuff or we had the CMU block put up, that these openings were kept up. We worked since day one with these companies to make sure that this wasn't an afterthought when it came to mounting stuff in the jail.
Very good.
Again, the open house, folks, when we get this place done and we get stuff moved in, we're going to have open house. I've said that several times. I think you'll be amazed when you walk through and we talk to you about this, the systems that are set up for inmates. Again, it's not home, folks. It's not home. It's a jail. But it is up to date, modern. If there was ever any place I wanted to stay, this would be the place.
Very good.
Yeah, come look at our old place first, and then walk into this one.
How are you gonna have to compete with other jails that are building the size as us for the white collar
No,
people?
sir. So the U.S. Marshals have said, Tom, we can get you 30 inmates. That's no big deal, but we can get you 30 federal inmates. Said we may get 10 from here, 5 from there, and 6 from here. Now, they said, Tom, you want women? We'll have you 30 women there the day you call. Nobody wants women, and I'll tell you why. And that's not racist or sexist or anything else. You got to remember, guys, you can't put males and females together. So if you have 6 females and you have a bed of 8, a pod of 18, you can't fill the rest of that with guys. And so once you put 1 female in the cell, it's done. You can't put anything else but females in it. So nobody wants to house all females, because as soon as you arrest a male, you don't have a slot for them. So that's why we have the pods set up to where, and I know that the max I can have is 30. The max I can have is 30 inmates. If you remember the bond issues, to get taxable and non-taxable bonds, we had to make a choice of how many federal inmates we house, and we set a maximum of 30. So I know that I can't have 35. I can only have 30. So we have to set those pods up and the number of people in those cells to make sure I keep, a good number of those up to make sure money's coming in to help pay for this bond. But yet, I don't need so many that I fill up. If I have 35 females, and I only have a pod of 18, I've got to fill two pods. I got to have 2 pods to take up those 35 girls. And if I have a pod that carries 40, I'm losing 4 cells. See what I'm saying? That's just money off my books that I can't use. Now, again, yeah, I may have 4 locals, women that I've arrested or I'm holding or whatever, and that's fine. But again, I'm not making that federal money, so it's going to be a decision on whether I hold females or males or part of both, you know. But the cells, the number of cells, and the number of beds I have open is what's going to make a big deal here. So
Okay.
it's just something that we've talked about since day one and knew that. It's just, we'll deal with it when it gets closer. And it's, folks, again, I've said this forever, you know, we're talking about it was 18 months from the day we broke ground. Guys, we're less than 60 days out. You know, I know there's a punch list and there's some things that's got to be done, but there's no more years. We're down to days now before this facility will get done. So I can't sleep at night, thank you, because I'm worried about somebody calling me, telling me a wall's falling in, or they ordered something, they won't be in before time. I'm having my stress level and blood pressure has got to be about 400 over 10, but
Is that why you didn't sleep last night?
oh, I'm telling you, every night I worry about it. Hey, Doug, I worry about things, but no, we are right on schedule or ahead of schedule, and we're way under budget, so that's what is good. I'm happy, hope the public is happy. But when we get this tour, then I expect all you to be there. Like I said, I've got a cell for Steve set up. We spray painted his name on it. We'll make sure that's his. We'll call it the Steve cell.
It sounds like maybe a place I wouldn't mind staying at, right?
Sir, I'm telling you, it's very nice.
3 hots and a cot.
Yeah, that's right.
Color television, yeah, color television.
Sheriff, one thing that was talked about quite a bit during the initial jail talk conversation, once it was designed, once it was in the process of being built, now you're at the back end. So 92 or whatever the number is, if it's at full capacity, the concern maybe that people have about when people get bussed in to come into the facility, the likelihood of having escapees where they are running rampant through Burlington, Coffee County, and then the same thing about release. How safe is this facility and how safe is the public if it's at full capacity?
So, I can tell you this right now. The safest place in Coffee County for your kids is right here. I know that there's been issues about this grade school. Folks, that'd be the safest place for a kid is right here next to this building. Law enforcement's right here, and there is no way. Everything is double doored. And that's when they build these, people build jails, everything's double doored. What I mean by that is you have to get out of 2 separate doors to get to the outside world. Every exit is set up that way. Even the secure corridor is set up that way. And again, we've worked with the judge and let him know the reason that we have a security door here. It has to be opened by our central command. So you get out one door, you may get, let's say that you overpower somebody and you get a key. You may be able to swipe out of a door, but you can't get out of a secondary door without central control opening up a door. No 2 doors are ever open at the same time. Electronically, it cannot happen. The system is set up that way. So you can't rush doors or rush a guy that's trying to open a door with a badge. And there's always 2 doors you've got to get out of before you reach the outside world. And that's the outside world, that's another office. They can't get out of anywhere and get someplace else because 2 doors are never open at the same time. The system will not let it. You can push a button to open up 2 doors at the same time, and it's going to tell you you can't until that other door is closed. Whether you're bringing them in from the Sally Port because you've arrested them, or whether you're taking them to a med call. If somebody's trying to get in another door, you just sit there and wait, and they'll tell you, you got to wait. Pretty soon, they'll say, door's opening, and you'll hear that buzz, and that door automatically opens. You can open it up and go in. But the security in this system, in today's world, corrections facilities, is unbelievable. It's out of this world. This is going to be a safe, and secure facility. Period. Please, I tell all the public, come and take a tour. Come and take a tour. We're more than happy to put you in someplace safe so you can get out. More than happy.
Tom, if you were to run at capacity and then you had your 30 federal white collar people and all of a sudden something happened, you had 5 or 6
people that you
Good
need to
question.
house, would you
Good
be able to ship the federal off
Absolutely.
ASAP?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, that 92 beds is bed space. I've got holding cells in the booking room, that there's 2 pods that can hold 5, 6, 10, or whatever. You know, I could have somebody in holding. There are 2 segregation cells down and 2 padded cells. You know, if I was to that capacity, yeah, I could throw a boat, we call it a boat on the floor. They put a mattress in a little plastic deal and they could sleep on that until I have access. I am never, hopefully, ever gonna be at max. I mean, I wanna be around 80.
Yeah.
Because that way, no matter what, if we did a search warrant and brought in 6 people, I always have room to put people. The local people are gonna be here. I will call Johnson County, Wyandotte County, Butler County, or the feds and say, listen, sorry, you're gonna have to come get 5 because I'm full, and they would, but I never wanna be at 92 people.
So if that were to happen, I mean, the response would be fairly, that
Oh, they'll come that day. Yeah, these companies know, they know. And
Right.
again, I'm sorry if I've gotta I'll move 5 people and put them in holding. You know, those other people that work for somebody, that I'm holding for somebody else, they still got a bed, we're still feeding them. It's just they're put in a holding cell until we can, and then I'll put our local people in cells.
So the holding stuff, that's above and beyond your
That's exactly
92
correct.
count.
Yes, I could have 92 people and still have 2 people in my medical wing. I've got 2 beds in medical. You know, if you have, let's just say that again, you've been shot or stabbed. My medical wing has got 2 rooms that you could be in a bed in that medical wing, have constant coverage. I can be able to see what's going on, hear, talk, make rounds or whatever, but you could be in a medical wing with an injury. So I've got plenty of bed space. I mean, plenty of holding cells, padded cells, detention cells. So, yeah, that'll never be an issue, Todd.
So then, let the public know on this, we'll never have to house inmates in another county again.
No, sir.
Good, excellent.
If you go back, and I think I talked about that when this project first started. You know, when I took office, I think I was paying $55,000 a year just for our 6, 8 people gone. I've had 6 or 8 farmed out because I'm full. And so I don't have a choice of saying, hey, Wyandotte County, come get your people. These are our people. So I've got to find a bed space for them. They're serious crimes and they have to be taken to court. And some of them are waiting to go to trial. And so therefore, we're paying for it. I mean, as Lynn County Sheriff said, when he came to one of our town hall meetings, and they said, so how much are you paying or whatever? And he said, I don't know what. He stood and said, listen, I want to talk here, because I'm the sheriff from Lynn County. I hope you guys don't build a jail, because Tom's paid for ours. All the people that I've helped for Tom all these years, you paid for mine. You made a big dent in mine, because you're paying me money, and all I'm doing is feeding them and giving them a place to sleep. So that went over big time, that we're paying for somebody, we're not seeing them until we go to court. So now I've got to take the expense of sending 2 jailers and drive to Lynn County or Osage County or Allen County, where we're housing them, and go get them and bring them back to court. And then when they're done, I got to take them back because I'm full. So there's another expense that I'm paying. Food, you know, for my inmates. I'm paying fuel to go get them. I've got mileage on my vehicles. But yeah, that won't happen. It's not going to happen. That's the whole reason to do this. We're hoping that we have enough room, as the criminologist said, in 40 years, they looked at all those documents and all those arrests made, and they just said in 40 years, you're gonna need 92 beds.
The other reason to do it, going back to that initial meeting, if you didn't do anything and upgrade and build a new jail, the county would face some lawsuits later on down the road with the current jail. And this is a proactive measure to address that issue. The Lynn County Sheriff former Lynn County Sheriff now, would also tell you it took them 12 years to get their jail passed, and Sheriff Friend at the time was spending, I don't know how much time, but a significant amount of time in federal court dealing with lawsuits that originated in the jail that they were trying to get replaced. So this is a proactive measure to address and deal with that, so the taxpayers of Coffee County wouldn't be burdened with lawsuits later on down the road.
It's unbelievable. I mean, when you have nothing but 24 hours a day to think about filing lawsuits over frivolous things, that's what they do. They do it all the time. So, somebody's gonna complain that there's not hot water. Somebody's complaining their shower's busted, didn't get fixed for 2 days. Yeah, when you have antiquated equipment that you can't find parts for anymore, it takes time, folks. You know, we've had machinists have to make stuff. That doesn't happen overnight. You have to call a company, and when all this stuff has been outdated because it was built in 1984, folks,
Yeah.
there's just stuff that you can't get anymore. And that's what we told the public, and they understood that. When they saw pictures and they came through and did tours, it didn't take the ad hoc committee very long to realize that something needs to be done. It's just a lawsuit waiting to happen. The security, the danger of going down and putting hands on inmates every single day, multiple times, because you have to move them. And that's every day, whether you move them to rec, whether you move them outside and put them in a rec area so cells can be clean. That doesn't happen in the pod system. You don't have the hands-on. People always said, how are you gonna get by with only hiring 4 more people? You're getting 80 more inmates than what you have. How do you get away with only hiring 4? Because the pod system is their home. They come out of their cells and they have an area to come and play cards or dominoes or talk to loved ones. Here you don't, in a cell you don't have that. They can make phone calls, they can get on the kiosk, they can ask for dental appointments, doctor's appointments, all from their little pod. That's home, folks. The only difference between us and Motel 6 is we've got an area for you to walk out and basically have a living room. That's what this is you can come out of your cell in the morning and go down to your living room and watch television, you know, and then in the end, you go back to your bed at night.
So do they have a choice? I mean, when their door is locked, I mean, obviously there'd be times you wouldn't let them out, but I mean, like for instance, if I don't want to be part of that group, can I stay in my cell with the door locked?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So let's say, for example, the lights on are at 7 o'clock in the morning. So you eat breakfast. You know, we're not gonna wait until 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock when you get up to serve breakfast. We serve breakfast at 7 a.m., for example. So lights on at 6:30, you get up, get your showers, get your clothes changed. You have to, in our facility, and then we'll be in the new facility, there's a set of requirements you have to have for clothing. You can't walk around in your boxers all day long, because there's women walking the cell block. Same as there's women, they have to be dressed, so when men walk the cell block, they're appropriately dressed. So you get time to get up, get a shower, get cleaned up, get your clothes on, and be ready for breakfast. After that, I mean, right now, you're in a cell. That's your home. You can't leave there. We'll give you time to go out and get rec. They rotate to go into rec. That's only for 2 or 3 hours, because that's all the time we have to make sure that everybody gets a chance. Then at night, we'll just say 10 o'clock, lights out. That's the way it is. It's the same way in a pod. 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever time we send meals out, doors are open. You can come out and come down to the living room. Do whatever you want to do there. If you don't want to come out yourself, that's fine. We'll go check on you and say, why aren't you out in your pod? Make sure you're not sick or injured. But other than that, you can stay in it's your apartment. It's your home, basically.
That's it.
And then at 10 o'clock, lights out, everybody heads to their cells. Cells get locked. They do a check on all that. And that's where they're at for the evening.
Okay.
You can do it in your cell. Lights may go off, but you can sit on your kiosk. You can, email your mom and dad or do whatever. Study for school if you're going to school, and maybe you're going to AA and you got something to do, for that. You can do that, no problem. After 10 o'clock, you're locked in your cell.
More than one person per cell?
2 cells, 2-man cells. They're all 2-man cells.
And they have their own shower and everything in that
Yes, they do.
facility?
Yes, they do. Except for the dormitory style housing where there's bunk beds, 15, 18, 20 in the cell. Then there's 2 public that you have to go into. They're not private there because of the dorm style. But all the cells have showers in the cell.
Okay.
And tied to the showers, because we live in such a litigation-driven society now, the water and water consumption is tracked, so that if somebody wanted to say, well, I didn't get enough water, how much water they use for a shower, how much water they use in the sink, there's no bar on how much, but it's measured in gallons or whatever, liters, whatever it is they're using, so that if somebody wants to come back later and say, well, they didn't let me have any water, well, they can print out water consumption usage for a period of time, and that answer's already there.
Because the water was on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they got video. It don't show the shower, but it shows them walking through the shower, and they come back out and they're wearing a towel. You taking a shower. Don't play games,
Yeah.
So, yeah. If you don't think that this system's got cameras, more cameras in this place, security, but more cameras in this place, it's unbelievable. Nobody's gonna be able to complain that they couldn't get on the kiosk or get on their Wi-Fi. There are Wi-Fi pucks every place throughout this facility. We have to give them access to the outside world. You're not gonna get to use cell phones so you can call some other guy to whack somebody. It's all monitored for all that reason. But again, all this is set up, it's bad to say, but it's set up for the inmate and their comfort. Because again, I've got to provide medical, I've got to provide them food, I've got to provide their care. This is not the Hilton, folks. It's a jail. And it's going to be the nicest one around, new build. You're going to have all the new amenities that's in every other facility. It's not like you go to Osage County and they don't have this. We're better than them. It's not, it's going to be a new facility that we've never ever had. We've never had some of this electronic stuff. We didn't have the capability then.
Right.
We're just coming up to the times. You know.
But it's going to be safer for you as law enforcement, plus,
Oh, hell yeah.
plus inmates.
Absolutely.
Plus the public.
All three, yes, sir.
And you were talking about the 92-bed facility. I think originally it was like, what, a 50?
So we wanted.
It was a smaller,
So Goldberg originally said you need 92 beds. And once we got the initial 50% drawings, I think, and it was way over 30 million, which is what we had decided we were gonna try to do a bond for. Then I said, there's no way we can do this. I've got to cut. And the only way to cut was to cut number of beds. And so we cut it down to 60 beds. And that's what we actually took to the ad hoc committee.
right.
We planned on 60 beds. Goldberg had broke this all down to come up with 60 beds. When we went to the ad hoc committee, which was people from all over the county, we chose people that were totally against this.
I was gonna say you had people on both sides.
Oh, yes, sir. We had people that came out and said, we don't need this, there's no way. And I said, would you please be on a committee? I need you to tell me that you don't need it. If I can't convince you, then the public's not gonna take this. They're not gonna take it, there's no way. So we had members from everywhere in the county. And we sat down and said, listen, we need a 60-bed facility, and we went all through this. And they said, okay, remember how to begin with, you were gonna have 90-some. And I said, we were. The original build was for 92 beds. And they said, why are you not staying with 92 beds? And we said, we need to cut costs. And so in the end, they said, okay, what's the price difference of having 60 beds or 92 beds? And at that time, it was less than $500,000. And they said, what in the hell why are you not doing that? And we said, we're trying to cut costs. And they said, in 40 years, you couldn't build another 30 beds for that. It would cost you how much? Of course, we said, we don't know, but we know that they raised in the 2 years we've been developing this, we went from 25 million to over 30 million. It was actually $37 million. And I had to cut all that down to get down to 25, because I knew we did 5 to phase 2. And so the ad hoc committee said, there's no way, you need 92 beds. We need those now, not wait 5 or 10 years and then try to put another 30 beds in here.
And the 92 beds came from the recommendation of the ad hoc.
Oh, yeah, absolutely,
Right,
sir,
right.
they did. Because we took 60 beds to the ad hoc committee. And during the process of all those months of meeting, and having people, we did our presentations, Goldberg did theirs. We had financial people from, Joe Serrano came in and just said, here's how we're gonna do this, folks. Here's the bond issues. Here's how we're gonna word this. And when they got done, they said, this is ludicrous. Let's put in for 92. And I said, okay, then who's willing to come tell the commissioners? I don't want it coming from me. And 3 of them stood up and said, we'll tell them this is ludicrous to build 60 when you could do this for the same price as 92. And so if you remember, but you guys wouldn't know that, but then that ad hoc committee, 3 of those members of the ad hoc committee came in and told the commission their findings. It wasn't ours, it was their findings.
I remember it.
Yep.
I do know you had several naysayers on
Yes, sir.
that ad hoc committee too.
And when we got done, they said, Tom, you're right, this has got to be done.
Oh, yeah.
You're right, it was 100% across the board
Yeah.
in that meeting when we were done. When we got done with all those months of work, they said, you're right, it's got to be done, and you need 92 beds.
Yeah, I talked to a couple of them, and he's like, had no idea.
Yep. So, that's the story, folks.
Well,
Hope the people out there in internet land ready for me to shut up, but that's what it was about. That's
I don't know about them, but I am.
Okay.
well, I'm glad you explained the visitation deal,
Yeah.
because that's, the people that I've talked to is all like, I've explained to them, I said, this building's gonna be way more secure
Oh, yes.
than what we've got now, and they said, well, what about the visitors, you know,
Yeah.
so.
So let's talk about one thing, we brought that up here, that I didn't talk about. Right inside the front lobby is a video room, we call it, it's a video visitation room. That, you know, somebody calls and says, hey, I don't have a phone. 97.6% of people in the United States have a phone. I don't have a phone that's internet capable. And I don't have a computer at home. That's fine. I've got 2 kiosks. They're going to be in that interior in my lobby. It's going to have kiosks. It's going to have another kiosk there for money. If you can't be at your home or you can't go to a local library and get on the internet, you can come here and we 24 hours a day. We'll buzz you in. It's a secure door. You go in, so you can't go anyplace else. And I'll give you the ability to talk to your loved one by video chat, whatever, in this building. You can't do it. I didn't have to do that, but I did.
But there's gonna be no motivation for them to do that, because it's still just gonna be a video chat visitation like they could do at the library or.
Absolutely.
Wherever.
But I'm just saying, if that person says, I can't afford to have a phone, I don't have internet
Right,
access at
I
home,
get you.
I'll give you access here. I'll make a place for you to see your loved, because again, the thing that I thought about that came to my attention was I had people say, listen, you've never had anybody in jail, you don't know what it's like, just talk to them on the phone, you want to see their face, and so I decided to put those kiosks in my visitation room. So not only just picking up the phone and talking to them, you can do anywhere. If you want to do video, and you don't have it at home, I'll give you the ability to do it here.
Very good. Gives me a lot better understanding.
Well, I think that we can set up to where Steve can do Zoom meetings here while he's in jail. I mean, we're gonna set that up for him.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, Steve, I'm about you, buddy. Comfort, we wanna make sure you're comfortable. Now, I've told the public, and I've told you guys before, if they got questions, please, come down and talk to me. I'll show you the plans, sit down with you, we'll take a tour. I mean, after we take a tour of our old jail first.
Yeah, I would like to
Do
do
the
that.
before and after.
I would like to do that.
Yeah, oh, you're very welcome, welcome anytime.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I think I have any.
You're gonna be cooking for us when you have open house?
I told my staff, I said I expect to have some brownies, or some muffins, or cupcakes, or, we're not giving you all steaks, okay? That's what Steve gets when he's an inmate, but I mean, other than that,
I think burgers and dogs, maybe.
I'll see what I can do for you, Tom, okay? No, I told my staff, I said, I want something here cooked from this facility, so when people make their rounds through the kitchen, you can say this was cooked in this facility.
So, good.
Got a short order cook up there. What's you gonna want? Oh, he wants bacon and eggs. Okay, hang on.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I like sausage better.
When you do your open house, will it be on like, how will you?
Thank you.
We'll put it in the newspaper and put it on social media.
Social media.
I'll come up and talk
Right.
to you. I wanna make this public, yeah.
Right.
The public's paying for this.
Sure.
So anybody who wants to come walk through this place is more than welcome.
Because hopefully, when you do that, hopefully the public will
How about
take
lunch?
advantage of it.
Again, I hope so. They
Right.
were very good about coming through when we were talking about this and going through the old jail. And you're right, they'd walk down the hall and they're trying to say, okay, I've seen that. You know, they knew it had to be done. Hopefully they come in and say, this is nice, this was nice. You guys have been under budget, you were ahead of schedule, and this is safe and secure, because that's what it's all about.
I've had a lot of people ask about
Yep.
wanting to look. You think you have a lot of interest?
Yeah, oh, I hope so. So I told my staff, plan on probably 3 nights, like a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome, good
Very
update.
good.
I think I'll get around and go get my truck.
Lunch is coming up too.
Yeah, I may have to stay. Are you gonna go take a lunch break, or are you staying?
I need to eat.
When you get done here, if they let you go, come down and get
We
me.
let him go anytime, but he's gonna know what's coming up with executive session.
Just come get me when you're done.
Will do.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
See y'all later.
Thank you very
Have a great
much.
day.
Well, I guess we're about down to round table.
two things. One, I meant to mention last week or the week before. So I inadvertently and unintentionally made a statement that it's my fault, my addition wasn't the greatest, and saying that we needed to advertise for a new custodian. That was a true statement. The part of the statement that I was corrected on is it's not creating a new position. So for whatever reason, in my head, we hadn't filled the position, but we had, and I don't know where I missed it. So there is a need for another custodian, but I do need to state, because I was wrong, that it wasn't creating a new position, it is creating a new position. So if that changes the outlook and moving forward, then I understand, but if I'm wrong on something, I want to come in and say where I'm wrong and what's the reason why. It wasn't intentional, it wasn't meant to mislead, it was just, I got it wrong. So, I don't know that we have any applicants though either. I know some people have come in, expressed interest, and
Well, I think that was discussed though, that it was going to take some time to, because the discussion was for another position to take care of some outreaches, outside.
Right.
correct.
So I didn't take it as, maybe I missed it, but I didn't catch that it, I felt like it was a new position.
Part of the motion though was that it was not.
Oh, I see.
So that part of the motion was not right.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's where I wanted to come in and state to you, because that's the motion that came, and in fact, I think Steve, either you or Wade had said, now we're not creating a new position, right? I said, no, well, we're creating a new position.
Okay.
So I was wrong, and
Yeah.
I just wanted to clear the air, because
And maybe I just can't remember, I don't know, but it was, and then it was, went on and was this, the statement was made that it's going to take some time for applicants to come in. It's
Correct.
something that's not filled
Right,
quickly.
right.
So do we need to readdress that then, or, as far as seeing if everybody's in favor of a motion to add a position, or? what do we
I think,
do?
I think there needs to be the discussion, because the way it was presented is, it was not creating a new position, and I think if that changes anybody's opinion, or it requires a new outlook or discussion on it, I think that's fair.
Well, for me, in my case anyhow, you described what this person was gonna do and the reason for it, so
Yeah, I don't,
I guess I'm okay with that.
it doesn't change my position as far as wanting that.
I will say from the janitorial staff, they have indicated that they've tried to make do with what they have, but with the new law enforcement center that's gonna open, I think they're gonna be spread pretty thin without an additional person, and going out to the different areas of the county to handle what historically hasn't been handled. The JSB, Road and Bridge, noxious weed, all those different areas, and I think that's some additional duties and responsibilities. Aren't gonna be full-time, and they'll probably figure out, it's gonna take maybe an hour or two outside the courthouse a week, but what we don't know is what it's gonna take to cover the main floor and the second floor of the new facility. So we have, I also want to say, and if anybody's watched the staff that we have, they are go-getters, hard workers. They go above and beyond to do what needs to be done. When one's out, the others don't. They don't complain. They say, what can I do? And then when one gets done with whatever they're doing, they go to the other and say, what can I do to help?
This building's always very nice.
It is.
in my opinion.
And I think everybody in the county, especially the taxpayers, as well as this board, should be proud of the people that we have responsible for cleaning this building, and because it's the curb appeal. When people walk into this building, they go into the bathrooms, that's what they see, that's what they remember, and if that's not tidy, if that's not clean, then that's something they're gonna notice, and I don't hear those complaints, I hope you don't hear those complaints, and that's when we have
Never once.
outstanding people.
Never once have I heard.
Never have.
So, I just wanted to bring it up because I was wrong, and, I misstated, and to me, this is the appropriate forum and venue to come in and say I misstated.
That sound reasonable, everybody?
Yeah.
So, do we need to make a different motion? Or was it,
How was the motion?
I can't remember.
The motion would have been to approve soliciting new people, and it's not a new position. I don't remember the exact position. It's probably about a month ago, wasn't it?
Getting close, it's not a year.
3 weeks ago, a month ago.
I'm looking it up,
What she's looking at, what you next.
10, 15-minute executive session, like, I don't know if it was you or one of you said, I don't have all these executive sessions.
You know, I just gotta give you some static. I know there's always a reason why you do what you do. so.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Move to advertise for a full-time custodian to fill a vacant position. This does not add any position.
Yeah,
Okay,
so that's what I'm here to clarify.
so,
I think they're asking you, do you wanna do another motion to correct your mistake?
I think that motion probably needs to be rescinded if at all possible, and then do a new motion if you're okay, and it needs to change the wording and say this is creating a new position.
I move to rescind that motion, whatever the date was on it.
and I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and rescinded, to rescind, and been moved by
I'm sorry.
seconded by McCurry, to rescind the motion dated March 24th, 2025.
Paragraph 18.
Of paragraph 18.
I'm gonna copy here.
McCurry moved to advertise for a full-time custodian to fill a vacant position. This does not add a new position. Barker seconded.
Okay.
Motion passed. So we're gonna rescind that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
So now you're gonna move to
If you can rewrite that other one.
Move to
to advertise.
advertise for the new position, custodial position.
Yeah, she's typing one. We have a motion to advertise for a new full-time custodian position.
I move.
Okay, Barker moves,
I'll second.
McCurry seconds. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Got that fixed.
Yeah. Sorry about that, but I
Stuff
thought it needed to
happens.
be
Stuff happens.
corrected. So, last thing is, request for an executive session for 15 seems to be a good number. Attorney-client, myself, the board, and it's to discuss a legal issue surrounding the current makeup of the board.
Okay. So did you already?
Oh, I'll make,
No, I haven't.
Okay, motion to enter into executive session.
I figured he pretty much made the motion, but.
Okay, go ahead, that's fine, as long as we get the wording
I
right.
was gonna make the motion.
You'll make the motion, is that?
Yeah.
Okay, Peterson's moved, is there a second? Barker, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We will enter
We have
in,
a couple extra minutes.
yeah, at 11:27.
I was tired yesterday.
All right.
Okay, I guess no action taken in the previous executive session. So, Todd, did you have anything today?
Just as we talked earlier, I think we might wanna think about and chew on, we wanna do something with fireworks if they are gonna be a year-round sale. Maybe be proactive county-wise. No action on that. And, we talked a little bit before about the way our minutes are done. Maybe we need to start including in, other than just resolutions that are passed and taken, about general discussions, not word for word that's gone on, but X was discussed amongst the commissioners. We have somebody from the public here that discussed it also. I'm thinking that might be something we want to do, so there's a record of it. Right now, some of the discussions that we have in here, there's no record other than somebody watching it on YouTube.
I was gonna say there's YouTube. but-
Yeah. But just we have it in the written record. And I don't want it verbatim the entire
Yeah.
discussion. I read some of Lynn County's and they page after page after page.
They write down every word in the meeting,
Basically.
basically, and, you know, some other places do too, but I don't see what that would.
If you're looking at the minutes, at least if something's mentioned and you know something was discussed, then you know the date of the meeting, you can go back to YouTube and try to.
You can't.
Yeah, and that's what I like about whatever's in there, like you say, and then you can look at, if it was an agenda item, you know, but like you say, that would be helpful if that was in the minutes of how it proceeded. That would be a problem, would it, Angie, to write down, we had a, you know, constituent came in and we discussed a certain item or something.
I was shortly after we did, like a year or so after we started the YouTube stuff, that we backed off on our minutes, you know, put in some motions, you know, or whatever,
Uh-huh.
I don't even wanna call it more important stuff, but yeah, we did downsize it. You know,
I said because of that,
You
with
remember
that
that?
thought in mind, huh?
Yeah,
Okay,
So how'd you used to do it, Angie?
just like what he says.
Okay.
yeah.
And then it got to be a long deal, and it's like, you know what, we got YouTube, I mean, if they really want to know, they can just watch the video, so.
But that would be in there then.
Plus
for-
read the newspaper, you
For
know, that
reference,
helps
you
too.
know. Yeah,
Cause I mean, they put in almost everything.
right, right. I wouldn't have an objection to it.
You know, I gotta say this, I got asked and asked and asked and asked about, you know, update on the chips, and this was a year or so ago. And so I made it a point to get up with Bowie, and, you know, that's when, Carl Wyatt come in and gave his big long deal, and there's a big write-up in the paper and whatnot, and I went to the people and said, okay, did you see that in the paper? No? I said, did you read the paper? He said, no. I said,
Mark.
I said,
What, John?
I
That works harder at selling the paper.
I said, you know, I work very hard at getting somebody in front of the board to you know,
Yes.
Try to,
bringing the public up to date that was in the newspaper.
And,
Well, I can't afford that.
and plus it was on YouTube
Yeah. Yeah.
when Dr. Wyatt was here.
Some people's in their own world, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but those are the ones that are the biggest naysayers. And
that's usually true.
So that's, you know, the minutes thing's not a big deal to me. So, you got YouTube, you got the newspaper, whatever.
Yeah, I guess it's not that big a deal to me, it's whatever, I just know that they've got YouTube, they've got the paper, but I'm good with whatever.
I just had to point that out. I thought it was so funny. It's like, good God, guys.
I mean, the minutes are an official record, you know.
Yeah.
At least if you're digging through it, you know, and you saw a reference, then you could, like I said, you know, the day you go to YouTube or you go to the newspaper or whatever, you know.
Okay.
It'd just be an easier way to try to track something down.
Well, it sounds like we've got support for that, so I sure don't have a problem with it, that we need to do anything to make that happen, or just say, make it happen.
Yeah.
And you'll be brushing up on our shorthand a little bit.
Yeah, I've kind of been lazy for a few years now.
See, we was looking out for you when we did that.
Yeah,
wasn't we?
uh-huh.
That's all I've got on it.
Okay.
I was like what Tom brought up, I was wanting Wade to kind of give us, if there's any update on the chips, because, you know, I think we all take questions and
Right.
are curious ourselves on what's going on there.
Do you want me to go find him?
Oh, he was talking with Heidi about.
He's planning to come this
Yeah.
way, I think, if he doesn't get detoured too much, but he's supposed to be coming this way. Mark, do you have anything?
Now, the minute stuff was on my mind also, but other than that, we don't have anything.
Okay. Tom?
No. The only thing I'd like to say is, you know, before I leave, you know, Carl Lee, and I've said this many times, he'll be retiring before too long, and I'm a big fan of succession planning. I mean, I try it with my company as best I can, where if that person's gone, there's somebody that can actually step up and fill those shoes if that person left, and I've worked very hard at that. And I think he has some pretty good shoes to fill. Carl Lee leaves.
Yeah.
And somebody in there sooner as opposed to later. You know, I don't know if you can find a person that has all the credentials, if you will, or whether that you can find a hardworking individual that would want to come and learn it and get their credentials while they're here. So when Carl Lee leaves, he knows. You can shadow him, he knows everybody in the county, he knows the roads, I mean, he knows,
Right.
instead of making it a guesswork for the person, for the first year or so.
Because if you have all the degrees, you still don't know our situation.
No, and you don't know, name roads run
Yeah.
east, west, or north, south, and numbers run east, west, I mean,
Yeah, just the basics even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I mean, we had some new truck drivers for the concrete plant one year. Said, I'd have a heck of a time finding this place. I'm like, what do you mean? She said, well, I went there, and I said, you know, it's all alphabetical and numbered, and these roads run this way and this road. He said, oh.
It's the simplest county to get around in all of them that we.
Oh,
yeah, it really is.
When
I
that
mean, it
came-
is, but if you don't know.
Yes, yes.
When that came out, I thought this stuff's not necessary. It didn't take very long that we was telling our hired people and different people like, oh, let's see, that'd be, okay, well, Ember's this road, so. Yeah, that's gonna be on Homestead, you know, and then get, okay, yeah, that's all right. It didn't take very long to start using it.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty handy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said once they, he even went back to all the rest of our drivers, he said, you know, they're happy as heck to know that.
Right. I could understand. That all you got, Tom?
Yeah,
Sure. I think we're all gonna hate to see you go.
well, thank you, but like I say, I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm really concerned about Carl Lee's position and a person fulfill that position.
But is that, and you're right, I mean, he's been involved with chips, he's been involved with the water, he's been, I mean, everything that's going on up north, Carl's pretty heavily involved with.
Yep, got a lot of knowledge that
Oh, he
needs
does
to
have,
be.
and part of that is that's been his training, I mean, that's,
Yes, sir.
hopefully,
That's just me, maybe I'm wrong.
That would be good.
Because like I said, I think that's, you know, nothing against Road and Bridge, but they've always got somebody that's been at the Road and Bridge or whatever,
Sure.
that can actually.
Moving up.
I mean, but they, yeah, I mean, there's enough of them down there, but you just got Carl Lee,
Yeah,
that's all you got.
that would be not very good.
so, what, obviously, he's not going to retire,
Within the next 4 years,
okay.
if I remember right.
I thought you were gonna say 4 months.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I think it's in the next 4 years.
so that's a discussion that we're going to have somewhere down the road.
That's just me.
No, that's a good
Very
point,
legit.
Yeah.
Those are-
because he is a one-man operation.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the sooner we get somebody in there to shadow him, and I've talked to Carl Lee about it several times, he said, yeah, I'll push to that, and, you know, gets busy with whatever he's doing, and nothing against Carl Lee, he does good at what he does, it's just, I really think, I think it's a must.
That would be a protection for the county, to get somebody familiar, I'd say.
Well, I think bigger discussions can be how to accomplish that without growing government. I mean,
Oh, no,
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to just be adding positions, you know, so.
Well, I understand that too, but I mean, that's a fairly important position.
Yeah, but that's where we have the discussion, there might be a way to do it without growing government. So,
I would welcome that.
yeah.
Well, it might be with 4 years going
Yeah.
through some graduate program or undergraduate program to do an internship during the summer when he can see somebody.
Anything.
And say, hey, you guys need to look at this guy here, and, you know, we could do something at that time.
and that's something that we could discuss with Carl
Yes,
on.
yes. I think he should be active.
Oh, yeah, I do too,
Yeah.
but that is a good point. I don't know where it's
Well,
good thought.
Okay,
Very good.
I don't have anything.
Okay.
Anything that I've got to hold off until, no, I don't have anything.
All right. Well, we've got another applicant here for the airport board. We've got, you're a business owner here that, wants to show their support for the Otter Creek Solar Project and also to urge us to support it as well. It's a business owner. And, I mean, I could read these too, but, this is, another one that, is in support of the Otter Creek Solar Project. Individual. Then, I don't want to interrupt you guys who want to read those, but I'll try not to drag this out any further than we have to, but I got a letter addressed to Commissioner Thompson from Coffee County Hospital. It says, Dear Commissioner Thompson, I would like to personally thank you and other commissioners for taking the time to meet with me and my team on March 10th. Your continued dedication and support of Coffee County Hospital and the healthcare needs of our community are evident and deeply appreciated. We are grateful for the opportunity to update you and the community on the hospital's operations and provide insight into the challenges we face as a rural healthcare provider. The team at Coffee County Hospital remain fully committed to delivering exceptional healthcare services to our county. However, as we discussed during our meeting, we're experiencing significant financial pressures due to rising operational costs and decreasing reimbursement rates. These challenges continue to impact our ability to sustain and expand the essential services our community relies on. While we are focused on managing costs efficiently, we have encountered critical areas where action was urgently needed to maintain operations and the level of care our patients deserve. These areas required unexpected capital expenditures, which were addressed and completed in 2024. However, these expenses remain as unpaid debt in our accounts payable. We are requesting the Commissioner's consideration in providing financial assistance for these two critical capital projects that were completed. Number one, replacement of an HVAC rooftop unity system. The existing system was aging and failures began to occur weekly. Additionally, replacement parts were no longer available, and we were informed that there was an approximate 6 to 9 month lead time for a replacement unit. There was significant risk and concern for a disruption in essential services if the system were to fail. Total cost was $114,115. Number two, replacement of essential lab equipment. This piece of equipment had reached end of life and could no longer be serviced. We began experiencing periods of downtime, which impacted our ability to perform routine and emergent diagnostic testing for patient care. Total cost was $37,825. The total cost of these two capital projects came to $151,940. I have enclosed detailed invoices for your review and consideration. Your support in funding these projects will help us avoid further costly finance charges and interest, as we are currently unable to pay for these items outright. Continued support from the county ensures Coffee County Hospital remains a strong and viable healthcare provider for our community. We greatly appreciate your consideration of this request. Once again, thank you for your time and unwavering commitment to healthcare in our community. Please do not hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or need additional information. This is from Stacy Augustine, Coffee Health Chief Executive Officer. Got the matching invoices for those amounts.
Can I see that?
Sure, certainly.
Immediate projects that are already done.
Yeah, I thought they did them last year. I didn't see the exact date, but
Is on there as highly needed things.
yeah.
No. We don't need to sign a tab on that one.
Oh, I didn't put one on there. It was addressed to Wade, and so
Okay,
I
alright.
didn't know what he wanted to do with it.
He read it to us.
Yeah,
Is
but I
that
can,
okay?
Yeah.
I can put one on there if you guys want.
She's got it in the minutes, too.
Excellent.
I started, so if you don't like it, let me know now.
So these are still,
They were outstanding bills, is the way I read the letter, that they're paying interest on now. I know we all hate spending money.
Well, I think if you're gonna spend money, I think it's a very important place to spend it.
oh, yes, no doubt about it.
I know they already get mill levies and all like that, I mean, that'd be the only other discussion to have, would be, whether you gonna up their mill levy or just help them out when owns it, don't go overboard, but I don't think this is a huge request. I think it's well doable.
Yeah.
Well, I think if they're paying interest, then that's not helping their,
No.
you want to see this done or anything. I mean,
Is that the one that was just over here?
Yeah.
Got it.
okay. Yeah, I think,
And there's, sure like to put them in the black and keep them in the black.
yeah,
But they can do all the help.
coffee health is so important.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're paying interest on this, and I assume it would be
That's probably not cheap.
probably not cheap.
Am I correct, or is there, is us having a hospital part of being
With Wolf,
compliant with Wolf Creek?
yes, for safety reasons, yes.
I mean,
I don't know that.
this is my opinion, that I think we've got, just my opinion, we've got some people on the board now who are very aware of business,
We've got,
doing business, and I think there's and I think their CFOs on top of the job. That's my personal opinion.
we do have some people that's on that board that's business orientated, that have been in that business, that are.
And other
they're
people
well-
that are just good at business, you
And
know.
other people that are good with business.
And
I think if they, I don't know if they're ever going to run, I think they're taking steps to.
I think they're moving that way.
I
to
think
be
they're
more
moving that
efficient,
way. To be more efficient.
they are more efficient
You
than
know,
at one time.
whether you like doing away with a particular service or not, if it's a losing proposition, then it's something that has to be addressed, and I think they're addressing it appropriately. On this, I think we need to take care of it.
And some of the capital expenditures are a little harder to plan, I mean,
Yeah,
especially
well,
if they
just-
just pop up.
Right,
Just like
right.
this.
And that's what these are, but, I mean,
Yeah, so
I mean,
No, the
they're
last-
trying to plan for some of them, you know, but.
yeah.
Well, and they have been planning for some of them, but
We need more than just
Have to
money
take
for
that out
things
of
like.
probably like community improvement.
Community improvement reserves, what I saw. That's what I saw in there.
What do we have in there, Tom? You know?
4 something.
6.9.
What's that thing?
Okay.
Well, yeah, I was looking at an old one.
Oh, do I need to get you a new one?
$3 million.
It's,
I'm so sorry. I don't know where my,
You're fine.
we have a more recent
Yeah.
there should be 3.9
$3.9
in
million
there.
in there.
I don't think we put much on there last time.
2005.
Here, let me print off new ones real quick. I found them.
Okay.
I think time went by really fast, and I knew
You're fine.
that.
Oh, it does go by fast. Found her number one.
I'm look at the right one, I'm not sure that's the way.
Another one.
I got them coming out.
Okay, okay.
I'm not way behind.
You're still running, McCray. That's all that matters.
I'm sorry.
Running low. Running on empty.
That's right.
Somebody's generated this letter. You picked up on that?
Yeah.
Huh?
I get stuff like that all the time at work. Pick it out pretty quick.
Okay, here's the. Mhm. Sorry about that, I
You're fine.
did not mean to not give those to you.
Okay. I mean, I don't know, I still had correct January, I think. That's close enough.
What fund were you looking at?
Community improvement
Community
reserve.
improvements, what Tom
Yeah.
and
Community
Angie
improvement reserve.
suggested.
3.9?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start something.
Yeah.
So total ask is 151,900.
Yeah.
Yep. 51,950.
They did request that.
Yeah.
The HVAC was 114,115.
Uh-huh. Is it replacement?
Yes. That other one was also replacement lab equipment, essential lab equipment.
And HVAC for the rooftop unit? That's,
Yeah.
Was it two of them, I think? Was it rooftop and what was the other one?
Yeah, the lab equipment.
Yeah, essential lab equipment.
Yeah, rooftop unity system, yeah.
So there were 2 units or 1 unit? I missed
Just
that.
one is all I
Maybe just
see.
one.
It's just one.
Yeah.
It just says system. Ready? Do we have a motion to pay the 104,
Wait, where are we at? Right here.
okay, to pay $114,115 for replacement of HVAC rooftop unit and $37,825 for replacement of essential lab equipment for a total of $151,940. Should we say in here somewhere it's for the Coffee County Hospital?
Oh, yeah.
For the Coffee County Hospital, funds to come from the Community Improvement Reserve Fund.
I'd make that motion.
I'll second it. Been moved by McCurry and seconded by Thompson. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Get that interest off.
Do you want us to do a special issue for next week?
That'd be
or
fine,
This
yeah.
week,
I
or?
can do it whenever, yeah.
we'll just get it done as soon as possible.
Yeah, just call me or whatever.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I believe that's all I had, and, let's see. Oh, Angie, you have anything?
Well, next Monday, you have the flight training scholarship awards at 8:30. So you'll want to be here to start the meeting early.
So we come up here to the meeting first.
You'll open it, do your flag salute,
Oh,
and then
the flag-
immediately go down.
Okay, yeah.
And,
So we want to start at like
8:30.
8:30, so time to start it, okay? Okay.
And oh, yes.
Advanced voting, isn't it?
Advanced voting should start Wednesday. Everything's moving along really well. I've got a little bit to do today and tomorrow, and then we should be ready to go first thing or Wednesday morning.
That's for USD 244.
Yeah, the USD 244 bond election question. And also on Thursday the 17th is that meeting in Wilson County. If any of you want to go to the road, what's it called? Just had it.
Oh,
District 43.
Highway officials spring meeting
when was that, Angie?
at Thursday, April 17th. And,
I'll go to that.
yes.
And that's where I had,
Well,
see, last year it was a Chanute.
well, it says, okay, this is, the email's from the Wilson County in Fredonia, Kansas, but it says, will be held Thursday, April 17th in the KDOT Chanute Complex Meeting Room located at 1502 South Washington Street.
And that's where it's, I think that's where it's
That's
been, that's
Chanute?
where,
That's
yeah.
where it's always at.
I think that's where
Okay,
it's always
so
at.
that's where it is.
Yes.
Maybe the Wilson person's the one in charge of it or something? Are they the,
Could be either Horry County,
They're border, yeah, I think so, but Chanute's the main,
I remember.
yeah. Yeah, I think so.
and so, yeah.
That starts at what, 9?
8 a.m. donuts and coffee, and then 8:45 call to order roll call. 9 o'clock is the executive director's update.
We don't need a reservation or anything.
Well, if you want me to call, I can let them know you're coming. If some of you would like to.
I assume Ron, well,
I would think they are going. They usually
When he was in
do.
here when we talked about that, he said he
Do
was
I?
going.
I think he said he was going to.
yeah, because normally he goes, I mean, that's, you get a lot of, I'm gonna plan on going.
Okay. So how many? I mean, it's better to have a couple more donuts or lunches than not have any if y'all decide not to go.
I don't think I could do it that
Okay,
day.
so one, no, Mark?
Decisions.
What's that? Your schedule's not that full.
I know John and I went last year,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not, I guess it's not that important that we be there, it's just it's interesting, and that's just like on the bridge project, last year it was brought up and visited about on 58. And then we had the meeting with the state on that day. So there's a lot of good information that comes out, and you can see what some of the other counties are going through also at the same time.
They're doing 50 daily.
Okay, I'll put down 2 then.
I may or may not back out at the last second.
Well,
Do you have any updates chip-wise? You still in that holding pattern?
Still in holding pattern. I'll try to get a somewhat of a more firm update or request, maybe somebody appear by Zoom at a minimum to provide an update. Because usually what I'm doing is just parroting what's passed on to me.
Well, that's fine, just, but you could get a little bit, 'cause it's been a while since their last report to us.
Yep. I can do that.
Oh, and I think you told us here a while back, Angie, that KNRC is gonna have a meeting in Manhattan next Monday evening.
Yes.
Okay, and I think, I'm gonna plan to go. I think Tim Johnson's gonna go, and if anybody else is interested.
Are you going to the commission meeting too? Do you want me to get a room for you, or what?
That's it.
No, it's just in the evening at 6:30.
Oh, you're just gonna go and then come back?
That's
Okay.
in company with the Kansas Association of Counties that weekend, Manhattan.
No. Ask me again, thoughts.
It's an association with the county,
Oh, it is?
seminar that they're
Okay,
doing for a couple
okay.
days.
No, I'm just gonna go to the KNRC meeting that evening. Yeah, my wedding anniversary of the weekend, I better not commit those days.
Should I send a message and let them know you'll be there for that?
That's,
Okay.
yeah.
Good.
You know, we could call, Tim or I could call Tracy Wharton too.
But she might have sent an email on that.
But I've tried to go to those. It's that group is, pretty dead set on trying to protect us from a bunch of this 30 by 30 and lesser prairie chicken and all of that crap.
I think the 30 by 30 will probably go away with this new administration.
Well, I hope so, but you know, this constant attack of
Is that the
taking.
Conservation Act, 30 by 30?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, they want 30% of land under government control by 2030 is what the name of it is, so that tells you right there.
Cattlemen's Association's pushing for that.
I think they're against it.
They're against it as far as I know, but you'd be
You might talk
surprised.
with Tim a little bit about that.
Some of the, I hate to name any for fear I'd be wrong, but there's some organizations that you think would be against this that have been through grants and other crap that they offer to them to dangle a carrot in front of them, who have showed support for some of this stuff.
Yes.
Should be totally against what those people are collecting dues for. It's pretty,
Government control.
usually gets my blood pressure up every one of the meetings I go to. It's pretty bad.
Angie, what was the name of that on Thursday? Or maybe in,
The Southeast Kansas Regional, hold on a second, I'll get back to that
I
here.
just had District 4 spring meetings, but I had.
for Thursday?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
it's the Southeast Kansas Commissioner
And highway officials.
and Highway Officials, yeah.
Okay.
Well, do you have any information for us?
Not for today. I'll have to do a little looking maybe next week.
Okay.
I would request, signature of this change order 33 and then permission from the board. I'll need to get the pay app amount to Jessica, so a check, special issue check can be presented so that it can go out in the mail to River City.
Yeah, just, you get a hold of me, Angie, I'll
Okay,
do that whenever you need.
are you here all week in Coffee County?
As far as yeah, at this point.
So here's this one, so this one can be, this is the change order
Okay.
that just requires the signature.
So you appear on the owner? Okay.
Right here, signature.
Okay.
Also on the screen.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
I got everybody covered then for today? Okay, well, I guess we'll adjourn at 12:23. Thank you.
Steve, you talked